All right, let's get started. In this video, we are going to be going over 5 ways that you can source off-market real estate deals in the greater Seattle area. We're going to do a deep dive-ish into each one. Some of them are very simple, so we don't need to go spend that much time on it. I'm also going to give you links. I'm not going to put them in here, but they will be in the description. So, number 1. It's a lot of sweat equity, okay? But it's free. People used to do it. Not a lot of people do it anymore, but it does work. It's a volume-based game. Number 1, use your feet and go door knocking. That's right. Go to an area that you would want to buy a home in or invest in and just start knocking doors and just be like, hey, I'm looking to buy a home in this area. I want to live here. Would you consider selling your home to me? No? Do you know anybody that would? Rinse and repeat. That's it. Straightforward. Simple as that. Door knocking. That's option number 1. Okay. Number 2, postcards. Okay. Postcards will cost money. Generally, they're going to run about 50 to 70 cents per card, depending on size and depending on design, double-sided, et cetera, and depending on how many you do at a time. The more volume you do, the less things cost per individual piece. Okay, but how do you send these out? Well, how many should I be sending? That depends on your budget. Why, right? Because again, 40 cents to 70 cents per piece of mail. Sometimes it could be as much as $1. You want a machine to handwrite a letter in ink and then mail it to a seller. Well, that's probably going to cost at least $1 per piece. But they do have a higher response rate. So is it worth it? I don't know. Jumbo postcards, they're bigger. They have a higher response rate. Postcards that have a QR code that they can scan to get a free valuation of their home, better response rate. Postcards that show pictures of their home and their community, better response rate. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. One of the mailers that we use to send out postcards and letters is REI Print Mail. Again, reiprintmail.com. There you go. So for mailers, that's a good one. Number 3, driving for dollars. This does cost money, cost gas, cost time, mileage on your vehicle. And also, there's a platform called Deal Machine. Deal Machine allows you to just simply take pictures of a property, input the address, and it will then put it into a database automatically. And it will pull all the information on that property. And then what you can do, sometimes they'll even pull the seller, the people who own it, right? And pull all the information on it. And then you can then skip trace that list and get phone numbers, and you can send texts or calls to the person who owns that home. So what you do is you go around, maybe you look for homes that are either in a particular neighborhood or a particular lot size, or maybe you're looking for homes that are distressed. So you're looking for homes that have like boarded up windows, moss on the roof, siding that's, scratched off, decaying, yard's a mess, bunch of junk cars, just a bunch of stuff, right? Junk everywhere, trash. Okay, so if you find those types of homes, take a note of it. Take a picture. Throw it into Deal Machine. It's an app, too. They have an app. Take a picture. Upload it into the thing. Put the address down. Boom, bang, boom, done. It automatically builds a list. I would recommend building a list of 250 to start, and then skip trace all of them. And then you can mail them, you can call them, and you can text them. Okay? So that's option number 3. Option number 4, you can pull lists of homes. You could pull all these different types of lists, and you can cold call them. Now, you could also leverage your time by hiring a ISA or inside sales agent, typically, or a VA. typically would hire an ISA or VA in Egypt or Mexico or South Africa or Philippines or Vietnam. These are the most common places to hire ISA. Now, where do you find an ISA? Well, good question. You can find an ISA through companies. There's one of them that we use is called Sphere Rocket. So you could go through Sphere Rocket and say, hey, I'm looking for an ISA to make cold calls. Well, what's your industry? Real estate. What are you trying to do? Trying to find off-market homes. Great. We're going to send out this job posting to all these different people who have experience in this role, and we're going to try to find you a match. Then you interview them, and you pick one, and you start, paying their wage, and you hire them. You onboard, and you start training them and pay them hourly wage. Another option you could use is Upwork. Upwork is like a free trade platform where you can make a job posting of like, hey, here's what you're looking for, here's the requirements, here's expectations, and here's the compensation. And then people will apply internationally to your job posting. And again, you just interview them, you hire the most qualified individual that you think, and then you onboard them. You continue to train them, you give them scripts, you do role plays, and you have them call. Now, with the calling, you're going to want to use a dialer. There's a bunch of different dialers out there. There's one that's called Mojo Dialer. There's I think RedX has one. There's Batch Dialer. There's I think there's DialPad, there's a Zen dialer, there's a lot of different dialers out there. What you want to shoot for ideally is probably a 3-line dialer or a single line power dialer. Okay. Generally, we have found that the single line power dialers have a higher connection rate, but the 3-line dialers can even make more calls simultaneously and you can get through a list of data faster. But you got to source the data. Now, where do you source the data of all these lists? Whether it be pre-foreclosure, tax liens, divorce, probate, absentee owners, whatever it is, whatever data you're targeting, you can get it from a couple different places. There's Property Radar. There's like Prime Tracers. There's Batch Leads. Combination of Batch Dialer might not be a bad route, but so Batch Leads. And then, there's a couple others as well. Okay. So there's where you get the data, what type of data you're looking for, and then either yourself or, what type of dialers to use, either for yourself or you're going to need to hire an ISA and have them call if you don't have the time, but you have some money. Generally, an ISA is going to run you about $6 an hour. Okay. For the Philippines. I don't know. If you go to Egypt or South Africa, it might be $8 an hour. Okay, so it's less than anybody in America. So that's why people leverage VAs to make calls for them, so they can make calls while they're at their job, engineering or whatever they do for their regular day job. It's how to leverage your time, right? And so that's 4 options, and that's everything. You're going to also want a CRM for that one. A CRM, I would highly recommend Go High Level. It is probably one of the more simplistic. You could also use something like Monday. Some people like it, some people don't. Again, personal preference. You could also use like maybe a Follow-Up Boss or Sync. There's a lot of different CRMs. Look into all of those. Figure out which one you want to use and just start using it. It doesn't matter which CRM you use as long as you use it every day. That's the moral of the story. There's also one called Podio, which I know some people use. So Podio, Sync, Go High Level, Follow-Up Boss. Usually most people in the wholesale business are going to use Podio or Go High Level. Those are the most common because they have the most integrations and they're most easy to set up and use. And then number 5, website, Google and YouTube. So you can go and set up a website and, obviously you'd want to do it so it's like, something cheesy, but eye-catching. Sellmeyourhome.com, Homes for Cash, I don't know, need cash for your home. A lot of people do Evergreen. I think it's a little bit burnt out. personally. I would not use Evergreen. It's too many people have used it. It's a little cheesy at this point. But you could do some people. There's another ones like Buck buys homes, so and so buys homes. Uh, you know, 7-minute deals. Like there's a lot of different companies and names. So just make up a name, and just stick with it. Create a website. The platform that you're going to want to use to create your website is called Carrot.com. They specialize in investor websites, wholesale websites, and they specialize in generating traffic and SEO to those websites. That is specifically their niche. They are real estate investing, real estate wholesaler websites. Very specialized. Okay, so I don't know what their going rate is, but if you're going to go that route and you want to pay Google pay-per-click or then YouTube ads, been running YouTube ads or Google AdWords to drive traffic to your website, I would definitely make sure to build it off of the platform with Carrot, because Carrot's already going to be helping you with the SEO portion. Okay, so those 5 ways to generate and find off-market deals in the greater Seattle area. 5 different strategies. Some of them cost money, some of them don't. Bonus strategy, but this one you got to be careful for. So bonus strategy, ringless voicemails. There's a platform called Slide Dial where you can record a very silky smooth voice message, and it will basically call a bunch of phone numbers but won't actually ring their phone and just end up leaving a voicemail. So they won't get a missed call from you. They will just get a straight voicemail. It just goes straight to voicemail. Caveat with that is you got to be careful, because you are going to be hitting do not call lists potentially. And again, I don't recommend calling a do not call list. If you get reported, you can get fined a lot of money per incident. So don't recommend doing that. If somebody's on the do not call list, don't call them. All right. So those are 5 ways, 5 techniques in which you can do it. If you have any questions about any of these strategies, or if you have ideas for other strategies, please feel free to let me know. And otherwise, which strategy do you think would work the best? Are you implementing any strategies? What are you currently using? I would love to know more. Make sure to leave a comment and I will respond to them, okay? And otherwise, like and subscribe so you can get more content, more advice, more videos on real estate investing, construction, and real estate in general. All right? Good boy.